Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video looking at the Subaru Crosstrek Base model. This is an affordable sort of crossover. Anyways, before we get in this video, I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to the Doug Smith Subaru for giving me some time with this Crosstrek. Link to their website in the description down below. Link to my car buying guide too. Let's get into it. Powering this is a 2-liter flat 4-cylinder that goes through a CVT. Fuel economy is 27 around town, 34 on the highway, with power outputs being 152 horsepower and then 145 pound-feet of torque. Now, before I move forward with this review, I do want to mention if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. So starting with the hood, you can see it raises up towards the center, which looks pretty sharp. Love the headlight design on the Crosstrek. Now you do have quite a bit of plastic cladding here on this, but that's kind of just a Subaru thing in general, and so it doesn't actually make the base model look bad because all the Subarus have the cladding. Now our turning wheel setup is 225 by 60 by 17. You can see the wheels are darker in coloration, and I love the fender flares here. You can see the rest of that bodywork there along the side. Got the blacked out mirror cap, door handles too, and if we actually take a few steps back, there's your side profile. This leads us to the key fob. We have our lock and unlock function. We got the unlock for the hatch, and then you've got the remote start function separate. So that's what happens when you go base model. Now taking a look at the cargo area, it's pretty spacious. Again, the Crosstrek, I wouldn't consider this like a real crossover. It's a subcompact, but it's lifted slightly. It's a lifted Impreza. So it's in this weird space. But anyways, it's pretty darn practical in the back. And then it is manual for the lowering function. You can see how it kind of arcs across with the taillight design, and there's the rest of the rear. This leads us inside where we've got soft touch here at the bottom, and then look at these seats. I think these are pretty nifty. Quickly pop in. Great room here in the back, actually. These are really comfortable. They did a good job with this cloth trim, and then headroom is surprisingly good. This leads us up front where again we've got all the cloth here. Got soft touch down below. All of our window controls, notice those are automatic. The mirror adjustments. Just a quick look at the mirrors themselves. And then again, you got that same cloth trim with the front seats. Manually adjustable, by the way, same thing with the steering wheel. And bada bing, bada boom. Pop the key in the ignition. Ooh. Subaru logo front and center on the steering wheel. We've got stuff like our adaptive cruise control with our lane centering. You get little drive modes below that. Volume control at the bottom of this whole stack with our voice command, phone controls, controls for the center in general, and then just traditional stocks there in the back, and then also pretty basic trim around the steering wheel. Now the drive mode select will pop up there in the center when you switch between modes. Mostly analog gauge cluster. Again, that's not different from the loaded up ones. Loaded up ones will put some fancy trim around the analog gauge cluster, but still analog, for, well, other than the screen in the center, of course. Backup camera in reverse, decent resolution overall, actually, so I think that's a plus. And yes, we've got the double screen setup here. You can see you've got analog controls for the radio, climate controls as well. And so yeah, it's kind of like, I guess, fun tab up top, and then serious vehicle tab down below. And it's just a weird unit. Got a little USB port and everything there, shifter here for the CVT, parking brake, some cup holders. Center console goes pretty far, actually. Nice trim on the top there. I like the faux carbon fiber. It's pretty cool looking. No sunroof, but good headroom. Now this leads us to the window stick. You can see 2025 Crosstrek, $25,810. Base MSRP, $28,260 total MSRP after destination and all of that, which sub $30,000 for a kind of compact crossover type thing, whatever you want to call it. Let's talk about it. Yeah, you gotta put the key in the ignition, but for having ground clearance at under $30,000, it's impressive. And if you're wondering, this thing has like, I think it's like 8.7 inches of ground clearance. Like, it's no joke. Like, that's as much ground clearance as my Land Cruiser. So, and that's like a hardcore off-roader, right? So this thing's gonna be able to handle anything you throw at it when it comes to pavement driving. And that's why these Crosstreks are so popular, because you know what? Not everyone wants a gigantic SUV, right? Some people they want the SUV practicality in terms of higher clearance. And here in Utah it makes so much sense because a lot of the roads are bumpy, got big potholes and everything. And so if you have a car slow to the ground, like an Impreza, ripping off your bumper, pretty common. You know, like the most common way that I see will happen to people in these smaller cars that are low to the ground is in the winter time, right? You go down a hill, maybe go down a little bit too quick, you start sliding, and then boom, you hit because you don't have the clearance. In this, you just bounce. You're fine. Obviously, you don't want to be sliding down a hill, but it happens, right? It happens to the best of us. So, other thing, I like the interior in this. I think that, again, it's obviously going to be more basic, but it's got enough comfort, I would say. And I don't really mind basic trim. I actually don't like a lot of the luxe trim because it wears so fast. Whereas stuff like this, at 100,000 miles, it still looks the same. And so it's like, from my perspective, it's like you pay less money for something that's actually more durable. So it's kind of like more valuable in a sense. I don't know. That's just kind of the way that I see it. And you still get X mode in this. Just on or off. It doesn't have the specifics like if you get the wilderness where you can have it be a little bit more specified to a condition like deep snow versus dirt, for example. I think we should be good to go through here in just a moment. I just want to show you guys a little dip here because it should, like in Impreza, you got to kind of angle, not a ton, but you got to angle it a little bit. You got to take it slow. Whereas with the Crosstrek here, having the extra ground clearance, you can just kind of plow right through it. You don't have to worry. And that's the biggest thing, like people's driveways, right? See, you can just go right through. Don't even have to think about it. Don't have to worry about hitting a bumper or anything. Stress-free. Now, the 2-liter. We got to talk about the 2-liter. You can get a 2.5 liter in the Crosstrek, but you got to go up to a more expensive car. And I'll show you the acceleration, but my 2 cents, if you can afford a 2.5, yeah, it definitely feels better. The 2.0 though, it's not bad. And the way that I look at it is you're not getting as much, but you're also not spending as much. So just go, okay, you know what? Yeah, I don't have the power, but I saved myself X amount of dollars. And it's not like Subarus are fast anyways, right? You don't buy a Subaru because of it, unless it's a WRX, right? You don't really, and even those, not necessarily the fastest in terms of sports cars. You buy a Subaru because of the comfort, the pricing, the reliability, the looks. There's a lot of reasons. Man, that was a long light. Green light us, please. There we go. Yeah, you see, man. So what I was saying about that 2.5, if you can afford it, if you can afford it, it's definitely worth the extra change. Not the worst thing on the planet, but yeah, this not all that powerful. Not all that powerful. So let me guys think about the base model Crosstrek, but I'm glad that they at least make this. Like, it's nice that someone's offering an affordable kind of like compact crossover deal, right? I mean, you do have the Honda HR-V and the Toyota Corolla Cross, but I mean, I haven't seen an HR-V that's sub $30,000. Definitely don't see a Corolla Cross that's sub $30,000. Like in terms of dealers actually ordering cars, I'm trying to think if there's anything else that, even the Ford Maverick's more expensive now. It's like everything is expensive. So it's like if you want the clearance and you want to not spend a ton of money, it's kind of the way to go. Let me know your thoughts.